Are you tired of the same old baseball showcase you've come to know? It's time for a new experience. The Top 100 Experience, a high-powered multi-day event in a professional setting showcasing your skills and talents at AAA ballparks. This is your chance to play at a professional stadium, learn from former MLB players, and compete in front of college coaches. This year was the first installment of their Stadium Series. The experience will be back at NBT Bank Stadium, home of the New York Mets AAA affiliate, and then the event heads to PNC Field in Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of the AAA New York Yankees. For more information or to register today, visit top100sports.com and click on the Top 100 Experience page, or click the link in the description of this video.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, another Mound Visit. And boy, man, I tell you, some hot topics, bro, huh? Case?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't get much hotter at this lull point of the offseason than the Hall of Fame. So we have plenty of debating and speculation and arguing that we could do about what happened with the Hall of Fame. But, you know, we've got that, and we've got another exciting thing coming in this episode that I'm sure you're excited to tell the people about as well.
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you why. We're always hot. We come in hot to the microphone and the airwaves to wherever you're getting the information off your highway. Mm-hmm. The information and some jet lag coming my way because I'm moving some wine. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I'm excited about. I want to go back to the topics. Just, you know, we go offbeat stuff, leading in, warm up the crowd a little bit. You know, it's like the first inning of our show. I finally, this show right here. Okay, I've been ordering from this company. It's a website. I think it's called Light in the Box, which could be light in the batter's box. It'd be light in the box, as well as being, you know, set on the mound, right?
Okay.
So, anyway, I'm doing some terrible.
I'm trying to follow you, but keep going.
Yeah, you won't. My brain's gone a million miles an hour already. Been up since 4 a.m. for baseball practice and high school baseball practice. We can get into that too. So this shirt I've been ordering, trying to get. These are Asian brands apparently and sizes. Okay. And I figured, you know, Asian. I'm an Italian guy. I've got Roman blood and Italian blood, and I'm 6'5". Okay. Tipping the scales at 258, almost 260, in my post-career days.
There you go.
Well, I'm excited. I finally found the size that fits me off this website. I ordered this. I was basically ordering new clothes to donate to, whether it be Goodwill or if my brother-in-law wanted it, whoever. I found it. I'm a 3X, 4X in Asia. So this is what it is. It's just
looks good.
A plain shirt. Yeah, it feels great. It's a baseball 3/4, you know. Yeah. And just a little waffle to it, whatever you call it, a little waffle shirt.
I love that.
So, a little cash. But, so I was excited about that. Came in the mail. Now I told him, I said, let's go. Clean it up. I'll order more, but you got to have my size.
Dude, you know, it's funny that you bring up, where do you get those? Is it Japan? Is it China? Where do you get the shirts from? Do you know exactly?
It says made in China. I'm betting this shirt probably cost 2 cents, and I paid $20 for it.
Hey, $20 isn't. I mean, at this point, it's not bad for a shirt.
Everybody's got to make their margins. I know how sales works, right? Pickles. You know, the guy that's jarring the pickles makes the most at the end. He makes the same amount, but it's just. Got to make his 30 points on it. Anyway, we're going to get
all over the shirts, pickles. Look at that. I mean, I have a fun little thing to share with you at the beginning, and I know, you know, talking about Asia.
Don't bring up Otani, please.
No. Well, no. Did you know that in Japan there is a single elimination high school baseball tournament with 4,000 teams? How awesome is that?
Wow. Single elimination. So how many games, if you win and play through, What would be the amount of games you need to win that gold medal or championship?
I got to look up more when it comes to this, and I'll bring it to the people as we go
like
forward.
Knockout.
How
it's like
crazy
playing knockout in basketball. That is crazy. So
yeah. But anyways,
the cost.
It's just a fun little tidbit.
The cost per at bats goes down if you stay in longer. Awesome. The entry fee. I want to know what the entry fee to get in. It's $3,000 for one game. Awesome. Pool money.
Well, anyways, we'll keep it on baseball, but let's transition over.
Yeah, so I'll tell you why I'm hot, though.
Yeah, why are you hot?
I'll tell you why I'm hot. My boy Gary Sheffield should be in the Hall of Fame. Friend of the show, former agent, good friend still. I texted him. Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit miffed at this whole induction thing now because of there's this cutoff, how many years on the ballot, when you're eligible. I'll never be on it. Never had a Hall of Fame career. I've had Hall of Fame moments, but never a career.
Yeah, don't sell yourself short.
A guy like Gary Sheffield, along with the laundry list of players, we went over this in the previous show. David Wright, your guy, to even Sean Casey's been on the ballot. There's guys that are deservingly so. So if you're just as good at and just as good as, if not better than, people that have been in the Hall of Fame, I don't understand this second place trophy thing in a sense when you're inducting guys that have had legendary type careers that were considered the best at the time. Gary Sheffield was feared. I'm not saying discrediting who is in the Hall of Fame. They are very eligible and candidates, very deserving. I like all the people that are in there. But I do believe there are a lot of people that should be in the Hall of Fame, and people make that stupid argument of steroids. Well, I'm sorry. There's a few guys that are squeaking through that are steroid users. That whole era was 80 some odd percent of the league was on juice and gear. Okay? That's the era. Those guys have walked through those doors. They got Han Solo plaques in the fame. They've had great careers. And you can't tell me that a guy like Gary Sheffield, 5 votes short of being inducted in there is not a crime. I can't believe that, because we're making concessions to players for, the bases being bigger, the steals are up. The people who didn't have all these concessions and games were longer and the season this and all that, okay? So I'm sorry if you don't want to sit through 10 speeches of awesome people, the best of the best, to listen that, hey, I would get hitting lessons from all these people or pitching lessons from anybody they've elected as worthy to be in that Hall of Fame. And if you can't sit through a 2-hour and 30-minute game, or let alone a day in Cooperstown full of legends that you'd give anything for to have their jersey, see them play, or rub shoulders and take a picture of them, and you guys sit there and tell me that it's too long, we can only have 3 people in this year or 4 people. I'm sorry, if you have 10 or 11 that are worthy, let them in. Their numbers speak to it, and he's just one of the people that, again, obviously biased, very personal, know him, and I think he's deserving. But there's many guys that should be in there, and I don't like the way the format is of that. I think that's got to change. We changed everything else in baseball. We changed everything else. 30 seconds of this. We can't let in legends because what are we doing? What are we doing?
It's really, you make an interesting point too, and I think it's I think it's true. It's fair, and I think that it's the way that the most of the public perception is circled around this Hall of Fame election process. And I think, like, when you look at the ballot this year, kind of like you could argue 10 guys on that ballot that had Hall of Fame
let them
careers.
all in. They're all Hall of Famers. What is going
Let's go.
on? Look who's in the background, too. Your legendary brother. Talk about brotherly love right there. In the background.
That's just because I had to panic and hurry up and put like something in the background.
Oh.
And I only have one jersey frame, so I just stuck with I guess I put him up there.
Listen, man, you got some jerseys too, man. Don't sell yourself short. That Travis.
I need my grilled cheese jersey.
Ed Lay, I'm rocking an Italia, baby. I like it.
Hey, so crazy, bro. So I literally got up this morning. I get like dressed fucking in the dark, and I put on a white shirt and I saw a white hat. I'm like, oh, I'll wear that hat today. And then literally I come downstairs and I'm like, oh shit, dude, Grilli's gonna be so happy that I fucking
Yes.
repped Italia.
Yes, that's right.
Italiano, you know what I mean?
You're my Southern Italian brother right there. Listen, Case, this is my
Yeah.
guy right here, and you can
Hell
tell.
yeah.
This is a product. Well, indirectly, his dad's from Corcoran, New York. Played up
Hey.
by us in Syracuse.
There we
Yeah.
go.
So, and Trav, I must say, you were one of the swag people when I came over. I remember being on the couch when I had my Achilles in 15, watching you and the boys do the thing when Jose Batista's bat flipping year. You and Stroman, all those guys had all the crazy hair all locked in. Look what happens to us. You can grab a hat. We don't have the barber like downstairs in the next room to clean up for the show, right?
Oh shit.
The doctor's appointment.
Casey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for doing the show. For anyone who doesn't know, Devon Travis, former player for the Blue Jays, teammate of Grilli's here. We are really lucky to have you join us here. And Grilli mentioned it, and I think it's a fun place to start. But being on the field, being with that team, talk about that Jose Bautista bat flip. That's like one of the most iconic baseball moments pretty much of all time at this point. Can you kind of bring us through that from your perspective and, if memory serves and how electric
Where were
that
you
was?
at the time?
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's awesome. So, I had a perspective probably like similar to most fans. I was home on my couch. I just had surgery. Just had shoulder surgery. So I remember being on the far right side of the couch and I'm just, hanging out like, oh crap, this game's not going too good for the boys. And I remember being pretty fresh off of major surgery, so I think I might have been a little flying or something at the time. And I just remember with my good arm taking my remote and throwing the remote up to the ceiling. Like, I don't know if it was simultaneous or what, but I had my own bat flip from down in South Florida, baby. It was freaking awesome, man. Just being on that team and I think being the young guy, and I grew up watching, Jason Grilli, the All-Star for Pittsburgh, pitching in the All-Star game. And I grew up knowing Jose Batista's story and how he had the magical season where he hit 50 homers and his career sparked. And the list really can go on, right? You got Troy Tulowitzki. I got to play with Jose Reyes. I got to play with Russell Martin. I got to play with Josh Donaldson in his MVP year. It's like it goes on. And really for me, looking back on my career, I played against with a really great group of players. But the bond that we had inside of that locker room, I guess at 24 years old, I didn't know if it'd last past baseball. And I just think it's so cool that I still get to call Grilli my brother. And I'm a little bit younger than Grilli. I didn't think he'd ever want to be friends with me. And, we formed a strong relationship. And I think for me, that's like the best part, right? Like your baseball career ends, but
well, dude, you're one of the
nicest
guys on that team. Let's just be real. I mean, Donaldson was in his own, alpha mode. We had Bautista in alpha mode. That was a room full of good ball players, and you could say, for lack of better terms, like high egos of good players. You know what I mean? And not in a bad way. Just the beautiful thing is that it clicked. It worked. And I always wanted to be a Jay. Being from Syracuse, everybody knows it. My dad. We grew up in Syracuse because he ended his career with the Blue Jays organization and opened up a sports bar right up the road from the AAA part. So, just being able to wear the jersey of the team that I grew up watching and idolizing, like you said, Trev, it didn't matter who had it on. If you were the young guy or whatever, I was so happy just being in that clubhouse and that stadium and the fans that bought in to just what was happening in Toronto, And so it was a cool time. It was a cool space. And Trav always had a smile on his face. I know your knees were killing you. This guy was always had love having guys like Kevin Pillar flying behind you. Trav, you did too. I mean, we just had everybody was pulling the rope to get that duplication. we had a good team, a good run in 16 as well. Fell a little short because the Cleveland Indians had Andrew Miller, who wound up doing pretty good that series against us, and in that whole playoff caliber. But don't sell yourself short. This guy, and you also won a World Series ring, right? You get the coach now, and got a couple diamonds with an organization. Go ahead, tell us about how that hood ornament feels to have under your belt.
Yeah, I mean that was awesome. Obviously, the Atlanta Braves are a great organization to be a part of. I think their success on the field speaks for that. But Alex Anthopoulos, the GM that traded for me from Detroit over to Toronto, is now the GM of the Braves, obviously. And yeah, it was pretty cool. When I finished my playing career, I had no idea what I wanted to do, probably like most guys. And I know I did not want to coach in professional baseball, that's for sure. And he reached out to me, and yeah, he made me an Atlanta Braves baseball coach in the minor leagues. And, luckily I was a part of the organization when they won a World Series, and I got myself a nice little ring. Pretty cool stuff, man. It's baseball has been so good to me. I'm so grateful for really everything that's come from it.
That's so awesome. I want to ask too, sorry, Grilli, but I'm curious because kind of like you just mentioned, you said you didn't want to be a coach in professional baseball, but now you are. So what was that process like, going from ending your playing career to now being a coach in the Brave system? And how long did it take you? How much, how many mental gymnastics did you have to do to get over that hump?
Man, yeah, mental gymnastics, I think, is like a great way to put it. Now I played my last year, let's see, 24, 25, 26, 27. I was 28 years old when my career ended, and I never was able to really move again the same. And I didn't have my degree. I left college after my junior year. And to be honest, I think I just wanted to go get a real job, and I really liked school, and I've always liked the financial world. So I think that's kind of the route I initially thought I had wanted to take. Yeah, baseball kind of just popped up on me. I didn't want to do it. I just had gotten engaged.
Oh,
and
nice.
Anyways, life was moving quick, and I'm like, oh shit, I can't leave now. So I promised my now wife at the time. I just said I promise I'll never go back to baseball. I'm never gonna leave you at home. She moved down from Kansas City. I can't leave my freaking wife. No way. And I jumped into it really just on a leap of faith. And I said, I want to make my peace with baseball. I was kind of mad at the game. Obviously no one really ever likes how it ends. But for me, it was a little salty and sad because I wasn't ever even able to run again. So yeah, I just want to make my peace with baseball really. And I ended up creating an entire new group of friends. And for me, I think I got my gratification from coaching in baseball. I'm done now, by the way. I'm home. I had enough of traveling. It was a great run. It was awesome. But I got my gratification by waking up every day, seeing myself and all of these players every day. And I know what the minor league grind is like. It's tough. And I really just try to put a smile on one guy's face a day and try to bring good energy, because really inside of the game of baseball, that's all you got.
Yeah, man. You
awesome.
do that well. You're still carrying that out. And, a big thing that I like to talk about is transition. It's hard, no matter how long you have the uniform on, the transition for people. I love talking about the name, image, and likeness. And speaking of which, your brother, who's a big-time quarterback at Florida State, if you haven't noticed or know that's in the family with you. And the name, image, and likeness for student athletes, now they get paid. We talk about those kids having a platform earlier to make some money and make a name for themselves, whether they're trying to sell something, do an endorsement deal. We don't have as many of those opportunities as much anymore because it's always about the player. The players of now are the product on the field, and they're the most important. But like you said, you were going into finance and doing other things. Tell everybody, what that's been like for a younger guy to transition from a world and and that intensity and that love and desire, and then like you said, you're doing it really well, man, because you're married, happily married now. That's why I thought you were at the doctor's. I thought maybe you had good news, because I know you got a good family guy. I didn't know if that was what we're talking here, but not that we're going to.
Soon, baby, soon. That good news is coming soon. I'll call you right away.
Yeah, see, he's developing. You're going to develop some of your own big leaguers or whatever. Good people.
Woo!
This is good people right here. So, what's the
Oh,
transition
you're the
like,
man,
bro?
Grilli.
What's the transition though? Like, talk about your brother because he does have that going. You're trying to find that for yourself. I'm still doing it for myself. It's something that I'm actually getting into with the name, image, and likeness. I wrote a book about it, and it's going to be used as a textbook. And everybody, we get a pretty good platform to use for as long as we can and ride it out. So, I kind of want you to speak to that life after baseball, man.
Damn right. No, that's awesome, Mike. You better give me that book, bro. I'm on it. Let's go. But yeah, it was very, very challenging early on. Just because, you're 27, 28 years old. You're in the midst of your career. Things kind of get off to a pretty hot start, and you wake up one day and it's kind of like the lights shut off on you, and you're sitting in a room, I guess is the best way you can explain it. And you're sitting in the room and you can't find the door. The lights that not only will the lights not come on, but you found the light switch and the lights still just are dead. And you really just don't know what to do. And I'd say it was the most trying times of my life. And I'm try to be the guy that's always positive and smiling and hey, how you doing? I'm good. I try to hide everything. And for a bit, there was a time where I couldn't even fake it. And I guess looking back at it now, I can admit it pretty openly, because I was able to get through it. I'm so grateful for my family and my now wife and, my friends and these relationships, right? Like me being able to come on here and speak to you, a former teammate of mine that I grew up watching play this game, and I respect a ton. Sorry, bro. Hey, I'm 32 and getting gray hairs, bro. So, hey, I call myself old. You right with me. But you still fly. My mom told me to tell you hello. All the women in the Travis family have a huge crush on Jason Grilli. So she said, tell grilled cheese hello.
All right.
But yeah, the transition was tough, and yeah, I'm so thankful for Alex Anthopoulos for giving me the opportunity to make my peace with the game of baseball. I loved every second of it. It was awesome. I call games on ESPN for college baseball. That's been a ton of fun. I still get to be around the game, and a buddy of mine, actually a former Pittsburgh Steeler, John Bostic's been one of my best buddies since we were young. We are opening up a pretty large facility down in South Florida to give back to our kids, and really we live in a huge area with a ton of really good athletes, but there's only a couple of places to travel to go get help, and so we've always dreamt of getting inside of that realm. So it's taken quite a long time, right? I stopped playing in 19. It's 2024, and I'm finally home for good, and I feel like I'm finding my footing in life. So it's a tough process. There's no doubt about it. But like I said, good people around you help you get out of it.
Well, you know what? We have to realize that baseball is something we did. It's not who we are. It's not our own identity.
Amen.
And I think a lot of people
Amen.
feel like they've lost the person that they were. They can't let go. It's not our game. It is for the time we hold on to it, right? But we don't own that. We don't own our dog. We don't own our kids. We don't own what we own. And I know you're a faithful guy. And what's cool, I'm going to say it out loud because I've been looking at C.J. Stroud. And I think a lot of people are able to talk politics and talk about their faith and all that. And I know you're a man of faith. And I think that when you transition from life as an athlete, a professional athlete, and you're conditioned in your mind, if you don't have that faith that, hey, God's got something else for me, and luckily he let me borrow it. He blessed me with so many opportunities. I sit there and I go, how did I squeak out 20 years of professional baseball, and rub shoulders like, yeah, at the time I was sitting there grinding, looking, here's all my jerseys in the back, right? I got to play with so many dudes, and I wish I tried to start a yearbook of guys I played with and against, and I get to play with the league, and that's why I have so many cool friends that I can call upon to just share. I miss knocking on the hotel doors or just, going in there and being like, "Yo, Trav, what's up? What do you got on your toe? This, funk. What's the funk on your toe that you got wrapping a Band-Aid so you can be out there, diving, making plays behind my mistakes." But yeah, that's the stuff you miss. The clubhouse, right? You miss the guys. That's the toughest part. And it's tough to get everybody to gym because we go back to our own individual homes and we're trying to create a life. And Supermen become Clark Kent at some point. You know what I mean?
Amen. Amen, bro. Yeah, you hit it. You hit it right on the nail. And yeah, it's. I think that you said it. You said it great. Is when you believe in God and you trust that, no matter what happens to you, and at the time you feel like the world's coming down on you, at the end of the day, if you just trust that everything was sent your way for a reason and that you're going to become better from it no matter what, I think that tells the whole story. And that's really what I preach to my brother, right? He's 23, just finished up college. He's having an amazing year, breaks his leg, and he feels like the world's coming down on him. And I'm so proud of him, and I'm so thankful that he does believe and always trust that everything happens for a reason. And really, without that, I don't really know where he'd be today because you can only rely on your own powers for so long. You need the Lord to help push you through. And yeah, I'm so proud of him. And like I said, I think you hit that all right on the head like you always do, Grilled Cheese.
Amen, brother. Well, thanks, man. It's good to hear that because the mental stuff. Freddie Casey even he pitched in college, and we preach to even these young kids. My son now, you should see the size of him. He said hi, by the way. Jason, my son's as tall as
Tell
me.
him I said hello. Yeah. Both of them.
Yeah.
He's taller than you now?
I'm looking him right in the eye. He's 6'4", $170. We got to fill him out a little bit, but it's starting to happen. Starting to happen. So,
that's so cool.
Yeah, so we'll see where he takes it. Like I said, I'm proud of him. No pressure to these kids. I know they all want to be there. They see the money, they see the fame, they see the glory. It's an amazing life, right? You can attest to that. But the pressure, I think I've heard a lot of guys that were even first round picks here locally in Pittsburgh area, and if they're not in the big leagues, you were just a minor league coach, right? These kids have a dose of reality like, this sucks. Minor leagues are not fun. I mean, it can be fun.
Hell no.
You're eating the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, not the filet mignons in Yankee Stadium every night. And a lot of kids don't see everybody sees the glory. They never see the grind of what it takes. And, again, you could speak to that because you got a World Series ring, but you were in the minor leagues coaching some of these kids that are going to be legends. There's probably one or two legends that you touched and rubbed shoulders with.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the minor leagues is grind really is an understatement, right? You don't make a ton of money. You have long bus rides. When you do fly, you're up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and then by the way, you land and play that very same day.
Your equipment shows
up. It's tough, man. Yeah, right. It's crazy, and I think the cool part for me is in the minor leagues, really the only thing that kept me going was wanting to achieve my dreams. So I felt like as a coach, and I believe this like with all my soul, I believe that being a baseball coach is the baseball side of it is the easy part. Like anybody can help someone when it comes to baseball. But in my opinion, looking back at my career, the coaches that meant the most to me were the coaches that I woke up, I knew that they cared about me. I knew that I could trust them. I knew that they were going to do things to every single day to make my career better and not worry so much about how they're able to use me for their career. They just want to help me. And I kind of lived by that. And there's a powerful man inside this game. He's a special assistant with the Braves. His name's Doug Mansolino. I watch the way that guys respect him, and when he speaks, they know that how much he cares. So for me, I just wanted to help motivate guys every day because in the minor leagues, like I said, the baseball side's easy, man. It's baseball is baseball. There's a million different coaches who teach a million different things, and I'm sure all these different things can help you. But what's hard to find as a player is someone who actually cares about you and wants to motivate you to be the best you can be every day. So that's really all I tried to do. I don't even know how much I taught guys baseball, to be completely honest, in 3 years. I just cared about the people.
That's a fascinating thing. I want to ask you, because it seems like that part of the game really stuck with you. So who was it during your playing career, or maybe coming up through the minor leagues? Was there a player, a fellow player, or maybe a coach that had that impact on you? And what can you say about that impact in particular?
Man, I was blessed to play for so many great coaches. You know, my dad coached me growing up as a kid. Obviously, he was my idol and role model, and I wanted to be just like him. In high school, I played for Scott Benedict, in my opinion, the best high school baseball coach that's ever lived in the state of Florida. College, I got to play for Mike Martin, Sr., who is going through a pretty hard time right now. I'd like to say I love you. I don't know if you hear this or listen to it, but very great man who has left a lasting impact on my life. And then, you know, you get to pro ball. I got to play for a lot of great coaches. I love John Gibbons. It's crazy. I call him now and talk shit. It's awesome. I can't even believe it. I used to be afraid of him when he walked out my locker.
Well, it's respect. It's just a respect thing. That's what it is.
No doubt. DeMarlo Hale, love him to death. Tim Leeper, I call him and talk a ton of shit to him all the time. Excuse my language.
Let it fly.
But yeah, man, you know,
it's real. Is it?
a lasting impact really from everybody. And yeah, you know, for me, like I said before, baseball is easy, man. Like everybody in professional baseball, in my opinion, is very talented and has the ability to be a Major League Baseball player. In my opinion, what always separated guys was their ability to show up and be the same person every day, their ability to be able to push through all the tough times, no matter if it was 0 for 10 or 10 for 10. They always made the people around them better. And for me, knowing that I had a coach every day that I can come into, and he just would make me smile. And he didn't make me feel like because I went 0 for 9 the last 2 games that I was any different. He still was the same person to me every day. So it's kind of how I tried to be a coach, was see myself in these players and treat the players how I used to like coaches to treat me.
That's so awesome. I want to ask you too, specifically when you're talking about your brother, it's interesting because you mentioned, you know, the tough, I mean, a lot of people know, especially people who follow college football, know the tough time that he went through at the end of the year, like you mentioned. But, you know, baseball and football are it's a different beast. But how were you able to, or I guess, what kinds of things have you been able to pull from your career and your, you know, some of the hardships that you've gone through to kind of give to him, even though football is a bit of a different animal?
Oh yeah, I mean, I truly believe everything happens for a reason, kind of, and this is kind of like
Sure.
wrapping it up all full circle. My brother's like my best friend. To be honest, he's my younger brother, but I look up to him because he's had a very tough run early on in his college career, and to see the climb that he was able to make and kind of, you know, reach a certain point in his career with his team, being a top 5 team in the country, knowing how bad they stunk the last 3, 4, 5 years, has been really awesome. But when my brother got hurt, I cried like all hell. I couldn't get over it. I was absolutely devastated for him, because I want him to succeed more than I ever cared about my own self succeeding. So it's hard for me. So I think the first step was internalizing everything for me, myself, and then realizing, oh shit, bro, you're a big brother. Yeah, you're down and out right now, but your team still needs you to step up. And you know, my brother, you know, relies on me for a lot of things in life, and I think the most important thing he relies on is our relationship and our friendship and our ability to at all times be able to pick each other up. And the only way that I really have been able to process everything and tell myself it's all okay is, you know, if I never got hurt and I kept playing, I wouldn't have been able to go to all his games the past 3 years, and I wouldn't have been there for him the day that the injury happened, and I wouldn't have been able to stay in the hospital with him the night it happened. and I wouldn't have all the experiences and feelings that I felt and the fortitude that I had to grow in my mind to get through all the injuries that I've been through. I would have never been able to help him. So I guess to wrap everything all together, I believe that God actually put all this in my life and made my career in short, not to hurt me, but I care way more about helping others, and how I internalize it all is I'm in this position right now because I'm here to be my brother's keeper, and I'm here to push him on and help him succeed in everything he wants to do in life. So
And that's
that's
real.
my motivation every day.
Beautiful.
That's real. That's, I have to say, I'm listening to this beautiful testimony to you right here. It's everything I know about you. It's everything I know about your family. And it is true. I feel like that placement, you had to go through some hardships to be there, right? If you had that crystal ball to say, why God, or why did this happen? And I got cut short, and we're all selfish, right? None of us get to take the riches or anything of this world, whether it's what we have is memories and we have relationships, and what we foster and believe in that, and touching lives of other people and collaborating. And I think it should be said, because I feel like, life goes so fast. That big league life is fast, right? And
Fast as hell.
so fast, and you're trying to squeeze everything in, and just even what you have for the day, and trying to see everybody. I mean, I said, I don't know how many teammates I've said just in my post career, were we really good friends, even though we were good teammates? Like, I want to know who was my good friend, because I said it even to AJ Burnett when he was here in Pittsburgh. I said, dude, I'm sorry that I didn't get to know you more as a person. One, because you were a starter and in the dugout, and I'm way out 500, 600 feet away, beyond the walls, catching everybody's mistakes. Hopefully they're for the other team's mistakes to our benefit. But yeah, just there's relationships I wish I had, but that alpha and that intense life, you don't want to sit there and say, hey, I'm having a tough day, and you can't let down. And the moment you had with your brother, right? You were there for that, and who do you lean into? There's only a few guys on the team, behind closed doors or whatever. I'm having a tough time, and there's times when you're like, dude, I know there's guys that I've cried with, or they've cried with me, and I've picked them up on the field. It wasn't about what's going on in the field, but that was what we had to do, and then we were either drinking because we're like, man, we still screwed that up, or we're celebrating because, wow, how did we do that?
Hell yeah.
I'm looking over the edge of the cliff. You seeing what I'm seeing? Right?
Oh, you're a beauty, bro. You're a beauty. You're spot on. Ain't no doubt.
You don't admit that. You're walking through the clubhouse like, yeah, my hair's good. Look at my chain. I just got swole. I'm feeling good. Took my vitamins. I got a massage. I was on Sports Center just a minute ago, or whatever. There's been times I wanted to take the remote. You talk about flipping the remote when you did with Bautista. There was times I wanted to grab the bartender's remote and turn every goddamn TV off.
God dog right. Give me away.
Get me
Where
out of
can
here.
I go in this city to hide?
Give me something strong to forget that memory.
Oh, what a beauty you are, brother. Oh, I love it.
Can I ask you
love
too,
it.
just to finish off on a light note here, but it's something I've asked Grilli before, and it's fun to ask, any guest that we've had on this show who's been skilled enough to play in the big leagues. But what was your welcome to the major leagues moment? Was it like playing against someone, facing someone? Was it, maybe you're on second base and you look over and, the other team's shortstop is somebody that you've grown up with, something like that. And you both can answer this question in case people haven't heard Grilli's answer, but what would your welcome to the big leagues moment be?
Man, to be honest, I feel like I had like a million at like
Share
all
a
different
few.
parts.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to. I mean, truly, there were days like where I actually would like pinch myself, like wake up in the morning, looking over the damn water in Toronto and being like, "Holy crap!" Like you're waking up and you have a big league baseball game to play today. Because let's be honest, at times, oftentimes, more times than not, I forgot I was even playing in the big leagues. To me, I was just like playing baseball, and I just, it was my job, and it was the same game, and playing against guys like CC Sabathia, it felt like I was playing against the same guys that I'd played against my whole life, because you feel like you're eventually a part of it, and it's just the job. But I'd say that the first and the best welcome moment I had was playing in Yankee Stadium. Was my debut. It was opening day 2015, facing Tanaka. I was hitting ninth, and I walked in and I looked. The lineup's already posted, and I go and I check my name like 5 times. Like, am I really seeing my name on the opening day starting roster in New York? Okay, I definitely am. You got to eat whatever the hell you want in New York, and I literally about 5 minutes before the anthem had a pit hit my stomach, and I had to take off to the bathroom because I was that damn nervous. So I think for me, that was my first experience, because I remember nothing from the day other than I hit a home run and I ran around the bases as fast as I can.
No way.
And I was in the bathroom while the national anthem was about to play. So that was it for me. Otherwise, it was like a million other times. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this shit. I get to freaking face CC today. It's so awesome. Holy crap.
Right? And listen,
yeah.
And I say this all the time. I played in every division in baseball, but the AL East to me was, I can't imagine as a rookie, right? My big league debut, I thought, they told me, oh, your big league day, you're going to face the Pirates. I kind of was like, all right. Like, I was processing that, and then I look at the schedule. I'm like, you guys are wrong. I'm facing the Braves, and Chipper Jones, and freaking Andres Galarraga. I'm like, holy crap, face those dudes, right? But like you said, you're going up. I feel you. You just took me to that moment, bro, and I lived it. We lived it with you, Case, right there. It's scary. It's exciting, and you're like, it's a pinch me moment, but it's funny because you realize you said it the best. Everybody's good, and you have to really go back into your head and go, no, I belong here. I worked for this moment, and I'm not going to let myself down. If you've prepared, right, the pregame, your pregame, you don't kid yourself. Your pregame that day was spot on because you wouldn't have had that moment, right? And after you had that moment, you're like, yeah, pop the chain. I'm supposed to be here. Where's the barber? I'm eating that steak. You got to eat the filet mignon right out of the gate, dude. Lucky.
Let's go, baby.
Good for you.
Crab legs, steak. Let's go. Give me it all.
You were like, wait.
And then we probably went to Tampa next, which I love Tampa. They had great food, but I'm just saying.
Right? Yes.
Oh, shucks.
Dude, awesome. I miss you, bro. It's so good to see you, man. We got to get together. We got to jam again soon. We were. I even said to Chef, I'm so mad. We were just before you came on. We were talking. Let me get your opinion about Hall of Fame snubs. I mean, do you feel like why are we boxing in only a certain amount of guys? Like, if you're good enough to get in, open it up. I'm sorry, we've made concessions where the game's shorter, the bases are bigger. There's 30 seconds here, but Hall of Fame stuff, you got all damn day for these people that have made the game. They're poster children for why the game and what you achieved to try to be like, right? If you want to be Gary Sheffield, I'm sure you watched him. Great dude, an awesome player. I used to watch him. I used to listen to him in hitters meetings to try to go, I got to face dudes like you, And I'm biased. I'm mad he's not in. But there's a lot of guys I feel snubbed over the years, not just this year. I would listen to 10 Hall of Fame speeches because they're all awesome. It should be in.
Awesome.
Right? So they make it.
I mean,
to let everybody in that's good enough to be in.
You're damn right. I mean, this is the hardest game in the world, and it's not even close, in my opinion. And I mean, I think that's the first name that comes to my mind is Gary Sheffield. I mean, I was looking, and I get it. Like Joe Mauer, he's deservedly a Hall of Famer. There's absolutely zero questioning in that for me. But I saw this thing of their offensive stats compared to each other, side by side. And I get it. Joe Mauer's a catcher, and there's absolutely no doubt in the world that it's harder to produce offensive production. And the fact that he's even in the same ballpark as Gary Sheffield is unbelievable. But Gary Sheffield is a Hall of Famer. And simply you look at the numbers, they speak for themselves. And I think that's just how our world goes. I think it's sad. I love the fact that it's so hard to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. I appreciate it. I think it's awesome.
Well, they need.
But there's guys that we all can. there's guys that we all can name, and I think everyone in the world can admit. I just think that when it comes down to circling that certain guy's name on the piece of paper or however the heck they do it, they just don't want to circle certain names for whatever reasons they choose, and I think it's wrong.
Yeah. Well, thank you for backing that up because, like I said, all this stalk and stigma, even in the steroid era, that hard to play through, and I believe there still is edges going on. I don't care if you're wearing the better shoes before anybody else does, or you're taking a peptide or a vitamin or a steroid or a this or that, and you got a special doctor, a witch doctor that's giving you something to give you that edge. Everybody was doing it back in the day, and there's guys that walked right in there gracefully. They're Hall of Famers, and again, the class that's going in, they're all Hall of Famers. No argument there. My argument is, like you, these guys should be in because there's plenty of more wall space. And if it's not that big enough, because Cooperstown, the museum itself is tiny, build onto it, okay? There's plenty of room.
Get him, Grilli.
Build onto it. Build it up. Let's go. Let's go, man.
Put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame.
Come on, right?
Yeah.
Roger Clemens.
What are you doing?
Come on.
I think the biggest argument for me is it goes back to, it's so simple, but it's the Baseball Hall of Fame for me is a place to tell the story of the game of baseball. And how can you tell the story of the game of baseball without the best hitter of all time, the all-time hits leader, like things like that? It's, I mean, like you look at guys like A-Rod, like, I mean, the numbers that he put up, and granted, yes, there's things with steroids, and yes, that that happened. But I mean, a guy like Gary Sheffield, who was exactly, and Gary Sheffield was in the majors at like 18 years old. That's a story in itself, and he was able to stick around long enough to hit 500 home runs. Like, there's things like that where I just think we're missing out on history and stories.
Case.
Am I back? What happened?
Casey, that was awesome, by the way. Yeah, you went frozen. Dude, but I love what you said, though. Like that, I'm going to start using that. You said, how can you tell the story of baseball without having the best players who literally move the game on from one generation to the next? Yeah. So I'm going to start using that. That was awesome. And that's like a perfect answer to give, like where no one could even like bite you. Like, hey, all I'm saying is it doesn't tell the whole story. Exactly. And I'm not interested in reading a damn book, going from chapter 1 and then skipping to 5 and then 9 and then 13. Like, no, mother sucker. I care about every single one of those chapters in between. I like that. Yep. I'm writing that down as soon as it's calling. Let's go.
That's like saying Kobe Bryant didn't model his game after Michael Jordan. So, but there's kids that model their game and have idolized Barry Bonds and all. I idolize Roger Clemens. I don't care. The guy won 5 Cy Youngs. You know what I mean? How could I not like that guy? You know what I mean?
And everybody tried to hit like Gary Sheffield as a kid. Every person.
Yep.
Everybody did Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep.
And everybody did the Gary Sheffield. Like, and maybe a couple like Tony Batista's like facing like, but otherwise like, yo, those were the guys. Like, what are we doing?
Yep.
Like, there's not even up for debate.
It seems like it's turned into like maybe a good old boys club. And do I like you? They've become political with it. It's like, dude, the guy's a Hall of Famer. Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer. Let him in.
No question.
Like you said, the story is the story. It's our game. It's the greatest one. So it's, I don't know.
Absolutely.
It's a hot topic.
Get him, Grilli.
It's a hot button. We can't fix it, but we sure know. We can talk about it right here. Mound Visit, baby. It was so good to have you on, man.
Yeah, Devin, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me, man. You guys are freaking awesome. This is really cool. I was super excited to be able to get on this. And, yeah, thank you guys for your time. Thanks for letting me put my ugly mug up here.
Hey,
and I got that on for my boy. My Gweet.
Hey, well, anytime. Woo! You, your brother, let's go, dude. And I will get you the copy of that book. But it's wonderful to have you. Get your butt to Pittsburgh. Seriously.
Sounds like a plan, bro. Sounds like a plan. I look forward to seeing you next. Please give your dad my best as well.
And
give the boys a big hug.
Tell me when you're with your family. I would love to say hi to everybody.
All right, I'll FaceTime you, but I'm telling you, these ladies, we're gonna have to do it away from the husbands, bro, because they all love that cheese. I don't know, but they just love cheese.
Yeah.
Them upstate New York woman, heads up.
Well, before we get Grilli in trouble, thank you everyone for tuning in and listening. We want to remind you, if you want to see more of us, you could follow us for free on YouTube, and you could do the same thing on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your shows. Devon, thank you so much for joining this week's Mound Visit.
Hey, he's coming back.
Thank you so much for having me.
He's coming
Thank
back.
you. Thank you.
Another one with you, bud.
Thank you.